What's up, everybody? It is October 2nd, and these are the three trades that we took today. So, as you can see, I have three trades overall. That's a couple more than I usually do, but for some reason, Price decided to want to keep stopping out my runners. You know, a part of me also did make the mistake of not taking off the majority of my position here because it was a 1 to 2, and then also this one as well. I believe it ended up being a 1 to 2. Yep. So my overall target was this high right there. I don't know why I have it labeled as relative equal highs. It's really the draw on liquidity. But for the morning session, I was expecting price to move on up. So let's get into why that's the case. So as you know, we've had this massive drop in price moving down here. It was kind of bottoming out, it seemed. So I wanted to see if this 4-hour fair value gap was going to continue holding us because every single candle kept closing within it. So it seemed like a good area for price to want to move on up and then rebalance this 4-hour fair value gap that we have right here before any kind of continuation down into this 19,531.25 level that I have marked out. Switching down to the 1-hour time frame, I was trying to see what I could find within it that would help support price or reject price. I couldn't really find much, so I switched to the 15-minute time frame. Here in the 15-minute time frame, I noted that we had this accumulation. We did come up taking out that liquidity, then moving down into the sell side of that accumulation. Now, why did I not trade a continuation of some sort here? Well, very simply put, where would I have entered in on that continuation? There was really no 15-minute fair value gap that got formed, that got respected. And so as you can see, at first I had this 15-minute fair value gap and this 5-minute fair value gap as well marked out to see if we were going to inverse those. We did inverse them, but I noted that we did not hit this sell side liquidity level right there. Okay, so keep that in mind. If we were going to continue moving on lower, I wanted to see us hit that. Now, there was also the likelihood that we were accumulating within here, and then this would be the manipulation lower before a distribution move on up, targeting that high. So I had both scenarios in my mind, that if we were going to move down and then move on up, that I would want to see some kind of rejection at the inversion fair value gap that gets created and then have an entry to go down lower. Another thing that I was watching was the fact that we did accumulate for Asia. London did accumulate a bit, but we did take out Asia's low, which calls for a distribution move higher in the New York AM session. Dropping down to the 1-minute time frame, we see here at the open, we do have a accumulation here during Q1. It moves on down, taking out that sell side. So now what am I looking for price to do? I did want to see a continuation of some sort here, to have a rejection off of this 15-minute fair value gap to move lower. Now price creates all these bullish fair value gaps, and what does it do? It continues to respect it, moves back on up, comes above this swing high. So I figured, okay, we're going to take out this liquidity and then inverse this fair value gap and then move on down. And to do that, I wanted to see this 1-minute fair value gap get respected. Now, what does price do? It actually disrespects that. So I market ordered in right after, put my stop below the low. So my entry was right here. And the entry was at pretty much that right there. And I was targeting the high of the pre-market. So that was my first target. And then my last target was going to be that draw on liquidity. So I took off one contract there, which was a fourth of my position, which I should have taken off way more. I was a little greedy with it. Not good for me to do that. I should have taken off the majority of my position there and then got stopped out at break even on my runners. So because the rest of my position got stopped out there, I was just sitting tight to see what it was going to do. I was confident that we were going to hit this level right there. So when price then again it invalidates this 1-minute fair value gap, I market ordered in at the close of that candle because that really gave the confirmation. Stop below that low right there, and again targeting that draw on liquidity. The risk to reward was there for me. I took off some at the high of day and then put my stops to break even. And then as you can see, price then accumulates, manipulates up, and then distributes down to stop me out right at break even, which was extremely annoying. I did not like that it did that. It really bothered me. And so I just kept watching again what price was going to do. And I noted this bearish fair value gap. Once again, price moves on up, comes and invalidates that 1 minute fair value gap. So I entered in again. I bought here. I put my stop below this swing low right there. And I took off the full position at the draw on liquidity. So this was the trade that put me really green on the day. I was somewhat green. I made half here of what I made here. And then this is where I ended up very nicely on the day. Mainly because my target was that draw on liquidity. I was so certain we were going to hit that just based off of the movement in price. There was no bearish entry created in any of these areas. And the fact that we continued to displace on up above that just made me not want to look for shorts anymore, because we did invalidate that inverse fair value gap at 10 o'clock. So it just pointed that we were going to continue moving on higher. It was just unfortunate, of course, that, this stopped me out. I know some people did get in on here. You could have gotten at the invalidation of this 1 minute inversion, right? Or the validation of that inversion right there. Stop below the low and then target that draw on liquidity. That would have been a very good entry. But lately I've been a little more conservative. I mean, that was my old kind of entry model, but I've been way more conservative now, where I want further confirmation, and I'm kind of trading the internal ranges just because of how NASDAQ has been moving lately. If NASDAQ starts to deliver price a little more efficiently, unlike this, I will probably try to get some more aggressive entries put in the future. But for now, I am maintaining myself conservative because September was a doozy. Now let's see how October ends up. 2 days green in October. Pretty happy about that. And so yeah, after it hit that, I was expecting downside. So there could have been some kind of entry to the downside here. If you entered short here and then your target would have been this low right there, put your stop above that high. It would have taken you a while, but eventually it would have gotten in. And then any kind of runners that you may have had would have potentially stopped you at a break even at this area here, but it's totally fine because, as you can see, price did absolutely nothing after the fact. So we'll see what tomorrow brings. Overall, a great day, 3 great trades. Just unfortunate that my runners got stopped out. Was a little greedy with it, but yeah, hopefully you guys ended up green and not red today, and we'll see what tomorrow brings, everyone. Peace.